So in this video we are gonna create input fields. So we have in HTML the possibility to create a field where you can type in some text, and you can create different kind of fields. So this is a bit more complicated and it won't fit in one video, so we are gonna make more than one video about this. So we can, for example, go in here and say input type. Then you can choose between button or submit, which is both buttons, and then you have the possibility to choose a color, date, time, email, file, password, and so on, URL, and so on. The most common ones is email, text, and probably number. So we're gonna start with creating a text, which is the type in this case. Let's see what happens. So let's go in here. So we can go inside our course file here and open it in Google Chrome or Safari or whatever you want to use. Alright, so you can actually type things in here. It won't be stored anywhere in a database or something like that. All we are doing here has nothing to do with databases. That means the data would disappear if you reload the page. So this is again something you can learn later on, but it's always important to just learn the basics of HTML and CSS before you learn how to do the database stuff and all of that. Or at least that's what is recommended. So what you can do is go in and give it attributes. So we have an attribute here, for example, which is the href target, and which is blank, and the style is an attribute. So we're gonna add in an attribute. This is another attribute here called placeholder. Then we can say full name. Then it will basically go here, but if you type, it will disappear. So the text isn't actually there, it's just to give you an indication of what it is. If we then change this to value, what will happen then is we have like this. It's actually a text now. What you can also do is you can go in and you can say this field needs to be required. Now if you try to submit this with a button, which I can just show you now, I'm gonna explain about this in just a second. This is a form element. The form element is not really visible, but the point of it is to tell the browser that you want to allow the user to submit the content in here to a server, and then the server will retrieve that data and store it in a database or send an email or whatever it is it's going to do. So you will basically send this to a server, whereas this is the method, which is post, which means that we are posting it to the server, whereas if you use get, you would, for example, use this for a search to get the data. So we can say form method post, and then we can say action, which is where we are submitting it to, what URL does the server have. So in this case, we're just gonna say index.html, which is the same page here. We're not gonna actually retrieve any data, anything like that. We're just gonna submit it to here, and then it will be stored into a server if you actually did it like that. And then we can go down and create a button. So what happens now is we have this here. You can see this works perfectly fine, except that it just submits to /HTML because we have this one here. So if we remove the backslash there, it would just refresh the same page. If we do like this, however, it will say this field is required because we ask it to not be empty. And in the next video, we are gonna go through how to use the email field. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.